That's dope.
Speak about Latinos, impact on the culture back then because it was different. Most of the people that came out, were blacks, whatnot. Explain that in the culture.
Uh, it
How
was
proud? Oh, go ahead. My bad.
it was definitely a task.
Right.
It was definitely a task we always knew we had ahead of us,
Mhm.
and we had to do a lot of approving ourselves, and we had to pretty much earn and take our spot. And a lot of people know the history know that, as well as recording the 100% record with Pun and I, where I took the Puerto Rican anthem and added it onto the beat and shit like that. We knew that was a task. We knew that was a risk we was taking, and we knew that there was a 50-50 chance that it was going to be either frowned upon, it was going to either be laughed at, or it was going to take off. You know what I mean? Uh, we actually joked around with that record for about a year and a half till we actually recorded it, and that idea just came about in pieces. You know what I mean? Well, because it started off as a joke, then I decided one day while Pun went to go west to lay the hook down, and when he came, he thought it was really dope, and he laid his verses. And then after he laid his verses, I asked him what he thought about me laying the Puerto Rican anthem, and he looked at me with a confused face, but at the same time with a big old smile, like "fuck it, we doing it." Like he knew that everybody else was gonna look at us like, "What the fuck is this?" But he was just like, "Yo, yeah, let's be different, let's do it." And I never dreamed that Steve Rifkin and Joe and Sean C and them would listen to the record and say, "Yo, this is gonna be the first single of the album. This is gonna be the first single out." After Pun passed away, and the record took a life of its own. Before that, I mean this with all due respect, but the Latinos was kind of indifferent when we was in the clubs and all that. We wasn't really accepted in the hip hop community, so to speak, as much as we thought we was. You know what I mean? And so that record right there allowed the folks to really give us the opportunity and really accept us in hip hop, because there ain't a country, there ain't a stage, there ain't a town, there's not a state, there ain't a borough that I've performed in that every race ain't singing every lyric, every word to that record. You know what I mean? So it kind of helped us. It kind of helped us unite everyone, not just Latinos and blacks. It kind of helped us unite everyone. Period. You know what I mean? And that kind of opened the doors for Yankee to record records with Snoop Dogg, and Diddy to do songs with J Lo, and J Lo to do songs with Mark Anthony, and Mark Anthony to do it. Just so to speak. That's my beliefs. That's just my opinion and what I know about the game and what I seen, what I studied, and what I know we had to go through. You know what I mean?
So were y'all getting hated on? Because I know like the rappers in particular had to go extra hard. Like your prospects, Armageddon, Cuban Link, Big Pun, and they got the
Nah, we kind of we definitely had to prove ourselves in certain aspects of the game. At the same time, we was being respected because we weren't trash. We weren't whack. As a group, as a crew, as a team, everybody individually had their talent, and everybody knew what they needed to do. And at the time, we was hot. Nobody could take that from us. We got a moment in time and a moment in history where the crown belonged to us. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? We got a moment in time, moment in history where everybody wanted to sound like us. You know what I mean? Everybody from the five boroughs. There wasn't an artist that came up to me and was like, "Yo, Tone, let me spit something for you." When they spit, they sound just like Pun. And I'm looking at them like, "All right, cool." Another guy, just like Joe. Another guy, just like. I even had a guy tell me one time that he was Tone Sunshine at a bus stop. I had some headphones on and I was singing out loud, with the headsets on. And dude ran up on me like, "Yo, you dope, yo." I was like, "Word." He was like, "Yeah, I can get you put on. You can get me put on." Yeah, man, if Fat Joe's my man, you don't know I'm Tone Sunshine. I looked at him like, word, and that's when I knew. That's when I knew we made an impact in the game. Like, oh shit, like we really, really made an impact. Like we really did some shit.
were you I heard something you supposed to be on that before Joe. How'd that work out? I know.
No, 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 no. It's Joe. For Pun's first album, for Pun's first album, I had left the block and I was on the run
Okay.
for some that we ain't even got to talk about. You know what I mean? And
Word.
but for Pun's second album, I was on about 75% of the records. You know what I mean? And when he passed away, I guess for political purposes and shit like that, they felt like putting bigger A-list artists and people that was already moving and making noise on the record. So they took me off of quite a few records. And the most significant record that really bothered me was "It's So Hard." You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So "It's So Hard."
Shout out Jones, right?
I co-wrote the hook. I
Mm.
sang the hook with my entire heart. You know, it was a record that was near and dear to me. And they felt like they needed to get someone else on it, so they put RL. They tried to get RL to sing it, and they wasn't really too fond of how RL sang it, so they had Darnell Jones come in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked with Darnell Jones for about like 2 days till we got it right. And if you really listen to, shout out to Darnell Jones, incredible guy, extremely talented dude. I'm a big fan of his shit, extremely big fan. I had him in the studio for about 2 days till we got it right. And if you really listen to the record, it is really me singing. And they took a track of Darnell Jones' lead and they put it on top of mine. So if you listen to the backgrounds and you listen to the riffs and all that, it's really me singing on that record. You know what I mean? They took Loco Bananas off of the album. I was on that. Pun's whole idea of having me on the album was like a major introduction to the world of me.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? This is Tony Sunshine. This is who he is, and guess what? He's on half of my album. You know, after that, it was my turn to go. You know what I mean? Pun passes away, and things took a different turn. I respected it because he wasn't there to voice his opinion, and I was just trying to get in the game by any means necessary. So I played my position, you know, as well as 100% the record. I didn't get no credits for creative, you know, control on the record and just putting the ideas together. But that's cool. I was just happy to be part of the game and be in the rooms. You know what I mean?
Business is a dirty game, and how did you?
Dirty game. It was a dirty game. In the beginning of my career, I really never got no type of recognition and no type of checks and shit like that, publishing the royalties for my shit. You know, I had to wait till I got older and smart and get into my craft a little more. You know what I mean?
You got into it early too. I mean, so who was there to tell you what to sign? And I'm not saying anybody did you dirty, but who was there to tell you, nah, dog, you deserve more than this, you deserve more than that? If you could go back and do it different, how would you do it different?
Well, I would definitely be on top of my game and absorb more. You know what I mean? Because as an artist, as an individual, it doesn't matter your age. You have to be taught from the very beginning to be observant, to be on top of your game and study your craft. And that's just something that we was all young and dumb. I'm not gonna blame nobody, and I'm not gonna say anyone took advantage because we all got taken advantage of. Each and every one of us, including Fat Joe.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We all had to learn. We all had to receive bumps and bruises, and you know, we all had to wake up at some point. So it is what it is. You got to charge it to the game. There ain't an artist in this world right now that can say that they didn't get jerked some way, somehow, one way or another.
Back.
You know what I mean? It's just part of the growing pains. You know what I mean?